T34, they actually allowed us to surround them. So let's get them right in the right in that turret ring. Ooh, let's just go for the side. Wow, I can't believe I pinned him right on the flat side of that side of the turret there. Hey guys, welcome back to dungeongurunet. This is nethervoid, also known as John, and another strategy series for you this week, another doubleheader. And this time we've got the T-34, which is a Russian Tier 5 medium tank, going up the medium line right here, A20, all the way up to the T-54. Now, I'm going to try to keep these short. They've been getting a little long in the garage, so let's get right over it, get right into it. What you're going to do with this tank is it's just your flanker, and that's what it is. It's a flanking tank where you're going to kind of wait till people, other tanks light up the enemy on the map, and then you're going to try to get around those enemies, flank them, and hopefully get behind them and start circling them and things like that, because you're going to want to shoot them from the side or behind. It's got a lot of mobility. This tank, it's pretty fast. It's pretty agile. So that's pretty much what you're going to expect all the way up the Russian medium line. And this is the first tank that you can actually really feel the difference. The A20 is good, but since it's a Tier 4, it gets really bad matchmaking. The Tier 5, this T-34, is really awesome, especially with the gun. Let's get right into it. 450 hit points, pretty standard for a Tier 5 medium. Let's see what oh shoot. Let's see what the PZ4 has. Let's do some comparison here. PZ4, get 10 more hit points. So see, 450 is about the same. And the engine is 500 horsepower, pushing 28 tons. That's pretty good. You're going to have some pretty good acceleration, and top speed 56. You'll probably get up in the 40-50 area. Traverse speed is 40. It's pretty good for the top tracks. The stock is 37. That's a really nice traverse for the tracks. It helps you for flanking and circling. Armor, not that great, but then again, this is Russian. Most of the Russian tanks don't have very good armor. 45 is okay. It's really not that great. Luckily, it's all the way around the tank. 60 on the turret front, and that is nice because you're going to be turning sideways to do circling and stuff, and at least you don't lose any armor, even though it's not that good. But you're pretty much going to get hit every time you get shot. So you're going to use your mobility to try not to get hit. You're going to do speed tanking. Rate of fire is really awesome on this gun, and we'll talk about that later. 30 rounds per minute. The turret traverse is really nice at the 56. You don't need that necessarily, but I mean 96 degrees traverse, that is insane if you put those two together. Yeah, flanking, you're going to be flanking fools, man. You can get really tight circling with that tracks in this turret. View range at 400, not that great, but not really that bad. I think the PZ4 is a little better. Yeah, 420, but it's not that bad. 400. Signal range 600. Not that great, and really the problem is, and we'll talk about it more on the tech tree, why that's a problem. You start out, now let's just go with the modules. Start out with a 370 radio. That's actually kind of bad, and you do not unlock this radio on the A20, so you're going to have to grind out this radio. So you're going to have a 370 radio for a while. That's not too bad because you're not really trying to scout. I would not scout in this tank. It's not really a scout tank. You're going to start out with these 37 degree tracks here, and that's okay. You can actually mount a lot of stuff on the stock tracks, so you don't need to get the upgrade immediately, although 10% basically more to traverse is very needed on this tank since it's a flanker. The engines, the first engine at 480 is pretty much the same as the second engine, so it's not a huge upgrade, which is nice. That means stock, this thing's not horrible. The secondary turret does give you 15 more armor, which is really not noticeable. What is noticeable is 10 extra degrees of turning speed. That's really awesome, and the increase from 270 view range to 400. 270 is like basically none. Remember, this is at 133% crew. So your crew being, you're looking over here 60, that's really bad. It's going to be like 200 or less. So you're not going to spot anybody almost in this tank. Remember, it's not a scout tank. Guns, on the other hand, this is where this tank shines. You're going to start out with this 68 pen, 110 damage gun, which is not very good, and 14 rounds per minute. Again, not great, not awesome. But look at this gun, Zis 4 here, 112 penetration, which is pretty good, especially for a flanker. 85 damage is not that good. 30 rounds per minute. Now, it's not actually 2 seconds per shot because this is, again, 133% crew, but it's a little over 2 seconds. I think it's 2 to 2.5 seconds. It's a ridiculous tank, especially if you're doing some HE to stop a cap. So those are the modules. There's no reason to do weak points. Let's do some research. So here we are on the T-34's tech tree. Now, unlike other tech trees, this is going to be a little disappointing because the only thing you're going to have is this engine from the A20 nothing else will be unlocked. So right away you're thinking, oh my god, really? And yeah, really, there's not much you can do about it. So at least you can throw the engine on right away. And then the first thing I would do, you start out with a decent gun. It's 68 pen, 110 damage. But what you really want is this 57 with 112 pen, 85 damage, and that crazy reload rate. So I would probably go straight for the 76 here, which I don't think you'll be able to mount that. You might be able to mount it, but I don't know if I would. It's pretty much the same, 8610. Oh, that's a lot better. So you can put that on right away, and then I would go after this 57 immediately, because the tracks only get you a little bit more traverse and not really worth it. And the turret, again, is not really worth it because it just only gives you a little bit of armor. It does give you better traverse, but definitely go for this 57 first. After that, I would definitely go for the tracks to get that turning speed, and then from there I would go to the turret. You don't really need this gun because you already have your best gun, so I'd go the radio. And again, this radio unlocks the radios all the way up to the T-34, so unlock it early and buy it early. It's actually pretty cheap for 24,000. Most radios are a lot more expensive, and that's because this radio only goes up to 600 range, and most radios go up to like 800. What's funny is the A20 and below tanks have a 700 meter radio, which is actually a tier 9, and you don't use it on any tanks past that, which doesn't make any sense to me, but, you know, whatever. So that's pretty much how I do it. I'd shoot straight for this. You're already going to have this engine unlocked, shoot straight for the 57 here, get the tracks, then get the turret, then the radio, everything else, and then T-34 T35, or I guess you can unlock the tank destroyer if you want. So that's the tech tree. You'll see it off to the side, and let's get back to the other garage. Alright, so that was research. Now let's do some equipment. Again, I only put equipment on tier 7 above because it's just too expensive to put on these tier 5s. But if you have some laying around, the thing I'd put on there is a toolbox in case you get tracked. Your crew's not going to be quick enough to fix your tracks. So the toolbox, you can also you don't have to spend gold to remove that. Binocs to get your spotting range up a little higher. 400 is not that great. And again, this is not really 400. It's more like 330 or something like that. So these binocs would be nice. Although you're going to be moving a lot, so you might want to get the coated optics. It's a big drop, but you know, you're moving all the time. So, but again, you're really only moving once you already see all the tanks. So I don't know. That's going to be up to you. Again, coated optics does take gold to remove, while binoculars don't. Rammer, you don't need that. Your speed is already awesome. No, and you might want to get vents. I mean, if you're going to do something that you could take, you don't mind spending some gold to take it off, and you'll have it all the way up to the T-54 that way if you keep taking it off. Your crew is going to be pretty abysmal, so it's not going to help them a lot, but it does help when you get to 100% crew. It helps a lot. Camo net's also a good idea if you're kind of waiting to do some flanking. You don't want to get spotted while you're waiting and you're just sitting there like a sitting duck. Remember, this tank's armor is basically based on movement, so camo net wouldn't be a bad idea. It's a pretty small tank as far as volume is concerned. Camo ratings based off of volume of your tank, so that net wouldn't be a bad idea. Again, you can remove it without spending gold. So that's equipment. Pretty standard armor piercing to HE. A little more HE maybe than normal just because I want to be able to stop a cap, or I might have to shoot people from the front and not be able to pin them, so I'll shoot them in the gun. Starting on tier 5 and 6, I do put a small repair kit for consumables here, but I will not put a full rack of consumables up to a tier 7 because it just doesn't make sense monetarily to, you know, stop a fire on your tank that only costs 2,500 to repair and you just spent 3,000 or something like that. It's just doesn't really make sense. And because I'm a genius, I forgot to talk about the crew. So your crew is probably going to look more like 65 to 70, probably 65 actually. And this crew is pretty bad, as you can see in the next videos. In the 50s, you're just not going to have very much accuracy, and you'll see a couple times I talk about it. But at 65 or 70, it's okay. Okay, it's still not very good. You won't see a real big difference until you get in like the 80s or something like that. So that's crew. Let's get this tank into a game. Spawned on El Halluf here, and right away what I was thinking is, wow, this is not a great map for a flanking tank, and that's because with bases, both bases being on high plateaus like this, it's really hard to flank because the only flanking you can really do is usually up a hill, and so that is never an easy thing to manage. But what you can do is use the downhill to your advantage if you can flank that way. Gives you a little extra, you know, obviously faster angle of approach, or faster approach. Easier to get behind the person you're trying to flank and start circling them. The problem then becomes part of your circle is up a hill, and so you lose a lot of momentum and usually get shot. So yeah, not really happy about this map. But I am platooned here with Rummy. I don't know his YouTube name channel, or his YouTube channel name. I have no idea what it is. But Rummy, that's R-U-M-M-Y-Y, and he does lead the clan called Tuma. It's not a Tuma. T-U-M-A. And that's a new clan he just formed. Basically, the average tier is about tier 6 or 7. And it's just right now a place to get good platoon mates and have a good clan and chat and all that stuff. And I don't know what the plans are eventually. He can tell us in the comments below what he's thinking about doing. So right here I'm thinking, you know what? Hey Rummy, I don't know if this is a good idea because we don't have a lot of tanks going to A1 here. Just 2 tanks is really not enough most of the time because usually I have about 4 enemy tanks to deal with. Now our KV's camping base. Well, I think he just left base actually, but KV is basically going south down to the pool down there. But I figured, you know what, we're the 2 of the top tanks. We should probably be able to take them out, especially since we're 2 pretty good players, and we're going up against pubs. And they don't have anything scary on their side. Maybe that PZ4 might be a little bit of a problem, but that's really it. And I'm shooting at the sky. But I'm thinking, you know, I got the fully upgraded gun, 2.8 second reload speed. See, like I said, it's usually, it says 2 second, but without vents and crew not being maxed out and all that stuff, it's almost 3 seconds. Still very fast reload. So we're kind of hanging out here, waiting for people to pop over the... See, by waiting here, we let them come up over the hill. I don't know if we did that in this, but that's a good strategy, is to wait for them to come up over, and it's much harder for them to retreat, and then you can shoot at them and kind of surround them. I guess this PZ-34 didn't know anybody was up here. He starts coming up, and we start pounding on him. But we moved up a little too early. He was about to come up by himself. So here's where I'm not sure if I want to go. Now we got an M3 Lee on the scene, which can be pretty deadly. They have almost 100 damage gun, if not 100 damage gun. So you never want to underestimate a Lee if you're facing them head on. And I'm getting artied. Definitely not good. I'm trying to stay out of arty position here. What's Rummy doing? He's right in the arty position. He probably should move, but whatever. Looks like he's not doing too bad. He's moving around at least, so. M3 Lee's just about dead. Rummy's kind of playing a little aggressive here, which is fine. He's got a T1. Biggest tank, at least on this side of the map. Now, we have lost 4 tanks already. The KV and T1 are already dead. Rummy takes that guy out. Well, actually, are already dead. So I think, okay, now's the time to advance. And I really get a bad grind on that guy right there. See the momentum I have going downhill, though? Perfect if you're trying to get under cover, like on this far rock before you get shot. I'm doing a little bit of serpentine. Make sure nobody shoots me. This is a great spotting place if you don't know what's up here. Come up right behind this bush. It's really hard to see the guys behind this bush from the top of that hill. Now that Rummy's here, I'm ready to go, though. We got nothing showing so far. That's good, obviously. Now, I'm heading right for those rocks because I don't want to get artied. Apparently, Rummy hasn't been artied enough in this game. He doesn't know. Arty is pretty much the bane of everybody in this game. So you constantly need to watch to make sure you're out of line for not an easy shot for Arty. See here how the radio basically puts me out of range with my teammates? It looks like everybody's dead. For a little bit, I thought everybody was dead. So here's that PZ-4. I think he's not upgraded, though. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of flank maneuver with Rummy here. Going on the backside. Got to be careful, though, because see, that 85B can wail on me. So, and he's not upgraded. Or he's got the derp. I think he's just not upgraded. So I know that going around there is not going to work. The 85B's there. He moves in on Rummy. And I don't know if he didn't know I was there or what, but it didn't work. Now he's going to try to get away. It's a good thing Rummy did not go down the hill. It takes forever for that kind of a big heavy to get back up. Not so the case for me. So let's do this. Not very accurate on the move here. So I easily circle him on the way down. Boom, that's how it's done on this map. I made kind of a tactical mistake there, but that's, you know, whatever. It happens. Rummy kills the 85B. And we're looking real good right here at 11-4. This is GG, pretty much. They don't have anything that can take us out. I mean, Rummy's at 80 and I'm at half. The Artie would have to get really lucky shots to take us out. I mean, we've got plenty of TDs still and stuff, so... So it still doesn't climb a hill very well, and that's just because it's Tier 5, and the engines and stuff on the Tier 5s usually are not good enough to make him very speedy. D2, no problems. Tier 3. There's the Artie. Let's get him, man. I hate Artie. I like to get him out of the picture as soon as I can. Ding or miss? Probably a miss. This is not a super accurate gun. Bounced? That can happen on the priest in the front. M2. There's the big gun on the T28, man. That thing's insane. 13-4. This is GG. Can't believe I haven't put up a GG. So we got a T14. Oh, I thought that was an M4. That's a T14. A heavy tank. Gold heavy tank. And the M2. There's the T14. That's fat XP and credits right there. Let's go get him. With Rummy there, I know that I can engage this guy. I'm going to wait for him to shoot at Rummy, and then I'm just going to go behind him. Yep, there goes the M2. MT or whatever the hell its name is. Not much hit points, man. Not many hit points. More than me, obviously. Actually, 690 is not that bad for Tier 5. So, you must not be watching his mini-map. Because I'm just rocking his world right here. Finally he figures out, hey, I better do something about this. And... do I get... Nope. AMX-40 gets the final hit. So, that's a pretty good game. Shows you the strengths of this tank. 900-point game, very good game. 25,000 credits. Again, that's the reason why you don't use consumables, because I want to keep all those credits. Nobody got any medals. 2 kills, damaged a guy, and detected 2 guys, the PZ-34 and the M3. Very good game, especially for this tank. And this tank is pretty good. It flanks very well, and if you get in a game like this especially, you'll do really well. So that's going to be it for this game. So, Mirovanka here. Great map. I have like a different strategy in the last couple months with my mediums, between my mediums and heavies. I used to always go north with every tank I played just because I started playing with heavies, so that's the direction I went. So right away, crushing this little supply depot. If you can get there, I suggest doing it. I even do it in heavies. So anyway, it's kind of nice to have these shorter garage... shorter time in the garage. That way I can load 2 games if they're relatively short. And that's what I've done in this video, and I can also do it in the Jagdpanzer 4, which I'll be doing tomorrow. Or at next episode, if this is after the fact here. What do we got over here? T-15? What the hell is that? And Su-76 and M3 Stuart. Now the 76 has a big gun on it, or can. So that's can be a little dangerous. So generally what I do in the medium on this side, if it's fairly quick, or even if I did it with the Panther too, is I'll come over to this bottom part. There's a little knoll right here on H9, and I'll generally hide behind that and kind of creep up and shoot people. Now, this tank is softer and it's more, this is definitely almost a flank-only tank. Especially, well, this is Tier 5 battle, so it's not too bad, but that KV, if he surprises me, can nail me. I don't want to get hit. Even from an M3 Lee, I do not want to take that hit either. That's 100 damage from an M3 Lee, in general, if they have the big gun. So I'm just kind of creeping up, I'm letting people spot a little bit. I'm one of the higher tanks, so I don't want to die right away, because your team, a lot of your team's kind of counting on you as the top tank to kind of play smart, not die, take out some tanks, etc. Our guys are pushing pretty hard on this side, which is good. Usually the KV and the Churchill will not be on this side because they're heavies, and they'll generally push at B3 is probably when you'll encounter them, or possibly B4. Wait a minute. Okay, well we got a KV over here. Let's get rid of that M4. He's got soft armor, and he's almost dead, and he get his gun out of the game. Well, someone else beat me to it. Oh, Martyr 2. Another one of those big guns you need to get out of the game as soon as you can. And there you go, 2-shot. Boom! This gun is redonkulous, I love it. 2.74 reload speed. Here's something new I learned. Caps lock and 0. It's not doing it in the replay. It's interesting. If you're live on the server... Oh, that's why, because it's a server option. So here's that T-15. I don't know what kind of tank that is. I've never heard of a T-15. I wonder if it's it must be a special tank. Now look at the ammo. When I get ammo racked, my reload speed is cut in half. Even after I fix the rack, the mod never catches up to the fact that I fixed my ammo rack. So let's get rid of that scout. We don't want him taking out our arty. Even though I don't like arty, you definitely need your arty on your side. A lot of times... Oh, wow, Church is over here? Oh, no, he's all the way at the other side of the... So that's weird. See, since they didn't go to B4, they actually allowed us to surround them. So let's get him right in the... right in that turret ring. Ooh, let's just go for the side. Wow, I can't believe I pinned him right on the flat side of the turret there. Boom! Oh, shit. I didn't get the kill. Oh, well. Happens sometimes, no big deal. As long as people aren't holding their shot to try to get the kill shot, I don't really care. I don't really care who kills them. I just don't like it when people hold their shot to get the kill shot. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm waiting for everybody to see this line. Look at my cursor on the minimap. See this line of tanks? I'm saying, okay, guys, let's all go in at the same time and light everybody up. That way, if we go in one by one, they'll just shoot us, you know, they'll just shoot us down one by one. So let's go in with 6 or 7 targets, and then that spreads out the damage potential. Also, it allows everybody to be in range to shoot them when we do spot them. Also, it allows more spotters, because sometimes you won't be able to spot them in this magic forest. So, most of us... So, sorry about that. My machine just kind of went crazy, actually. I just got done doing something for Friday's big announcement. So, taking out that M4, I wanted to get his gun out of the game kind of quick. Ooh, always go for Artie. Those guys have huge guns, man. I hate those guys. So, looks like the mod actually caught up with this, how fast my gun's reloading. Maybe it takes a certain amount of time or something like that. Yeah, baby! A Church. Now, these guys have pretty good armor, actually. My shot went right over that guy's head. Probably because my crew is not as good as it would be. I think it's like in the 50s or 60s. Normally, it'd probably be about 70, 65 or 70, I guess. So, good game there, 14-7. 2 kills, but here's the thing, though. 500-point game. Not great, but not very bad, I guess. 17,000 credits. These T5s make a lot of money. Here it is, though. I hit 4 guys and killed 2. Now, a couple of those guys I would have probably killed, but, you know, teammates and I were shooting at the same time, yada, yada, yada. So, pretty good game. Not the greatest hit rate, but again, that's probably because of my crew. And that's pretty much how you play this tank, and see you guys next time.